Okay. Let's try this again. Well, so far so good. Uh, I am not sure what happened there. Hello. Uh, hmm. I have no idea. It seems okay now. It is a mystery. I guess we'll see how far this makes it. I can only assume something was trying to happen in the background and not playing nice with all the streaming stuff going on. Um, oh no, no, that's not what I meant to do. No, stop your walking, turtle person. I am gonna turn the music back on because otherwise it's gonna be really quiet because I turned off my music in the background because I don't know why. I think that was trying to do something and generally complicating things, but I think I think it's okay now. Hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, it says it's not dropping any frames, so presumably that's okay, because it was just doing that wildly a minute ago, so it's not doing that anymore. Um, okay. I'm just gonna assume it's okay, unless it isn't. Um, hopefully it's alright now, though. Unless it's lying. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Yeah. Back to what I was doing. Hopefully. That's good. If it's not skipping, hopefully it worked. That just about sums up the kind of week I'm having, so figures. Right. Gonna go and I guess complete Grit Gate, unless I run out of water again, which might happen. Uh, alright. Now I'm gonna be like watching OBS like a hawk. Well, it still seems fine, so I don't know. Gonna be paranoid the whole time. Alright, here we are again. I thought I did this last time, unless I just didn't save, but I suppose that's completely possible. Right, yes. We finished Golgotha last time. Oh, that's weird. We got Glot Rot, spent an entire stream trying to cure it, um, through persistence, and, eventually it worked out, so now we're not dying anymore. But I'm also basically out of water, which is a problem, so we have to fix that situation. This was an unnecessary trip because I think the quest screen is just goofing with me. Return to Gritgate. Yeah, I did that. Well, that's fun. Anyway, so that's how the adventure has been going. full of difficulty and disease, which sounds like a typical CUD run. Oh, interesting. Maybe I didn't do this. Or did I? I don't know. Oh, I guess that didn't count as completed, and now it did. Good. And now the bears love me, so that's always nice. Trade with me. Do I have anything tradable? Probably. Let's see. Do I need this droid? I thought I gave it back to them. I'm hesitant to do anything with that because I totally messed up a quest earlier in this run. I could trade this. No, I don't know. I don't want to trade anything I might need. No, I'm going to trade one of these because I really need water. How about some scrap? Because I can get more scrap. And that'll be enough to, like, get me going for a while. Okay, are you ready to discuss the signal? I guess. I don't really want to start this quest, but it could be worse. I burned out on my last attempt to get into this game when I discovered the mod I was using to make the game interesting had unwritten rules that made my build useless several hours into my run. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, I had another run that I was doing, and I forget what mod I was using. I had something installed, and then the update rolled out, and now it's unplayable, so that's, yeah, it's unfortunate. But I feel your pain. Alright, the signal is a repeat transmission being broadcast from an unknown source. It's been live for over a year. One of our tinkers, Q-Girl, discovered it while rigging a long-wave detector. Unfortunately, it's encrypted and we do not have the means here to decrypt it. You may be of some help in this matter, however. We've long known the location of a fully functioning Beetle within the bowels of the Great Hall Bethesda Susa. Oh, my other least favorite place. The mechanimists have consecrated the site around it and built a temple there. Q-Girl claims to have developed a means to decrypt the signal, but she needs the computing power of the Beetle. If you can infiltrate the mechanimist compound, you may be able to engage the Beetle and decode the signal. What is a Beetle? They are antique stones located in certain places deep within the caverns of Cud. Blah, blah, blah. They're hard to find, blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. Mechanimists worship this one as an idol, and they will protect it at all costs. Yeah, I can do this task. Good, speak to Q-Girl. She'll encode her instructions. Da-da-da. Located beneath the ancient cryobarrios of the Eaters. Time has worked to erode the mechanisms that contain their cryogenic mist. That freezing vapor billows out of the chambers freely now, cooling the entire cavern. You will want to procure warm clothing to protect yourself. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, back to chat. I've mostly accepted that CUD is just not for me, but I'm still morbidly curious about it. Mostly I've been playing Wayward for the past couple months since then. I don't know Wayward. CUD is a learning curve. Definitely. I was just incredibly curious about it. And, roguelike games are typically not my thing at all. But this one really caught me. Like, the world is really interesting. And, like, once I figured out the how-to of everything, it was definitely a better experience. But it took a little bit of, you know, just skimming the internet for how do I even do this. But, yeah. it's kind of like a time and learning investment for sure. I have to find one of these bears. None of them so far are who I'm looking for. You, Q girl, wake up. Your hair is a quasar of red ochre and indigo. Are the Beetles those glowing sparkle things that never move and offer you absurd barter exchanges like bring me 3 carbine left-hand cybernetics and I will give you the world's best recipe for crab soup? Yes, that is what they are. Let me... Let me back up. I'm trying to think mentally what I was just saying. Juggling, playing this, and thinking. It's challenging. Yeah, I was saying that I am not familiar with Wayward, and Cud is just like a massive learning curve. Okay. I'm gonna steal some food from these bears. And then be on my way, I guess. Oops. No, stop. Ugh. Eat the porridge. Interesting. Whenever I eat an unfermented yuckweed stem, release an electrical discharge per electrical generation at level 5. Okay. I'm sure that's probably useful somehow. Alright. What's next on the list here? Okay. I guess that's a fair point. Like, some of it's fixed and some of it's, like, generated. I don't know. I think the interest for me is more, like, the, randomly generated content is kind of entertaining. Sometimes some silly things can happen. And I like the concept for the world is interesting. But I'm interested to see where it goes, because I know it's technically still, like, early access, I think, so... I haven't really read up on specifics of what they're going to do, but... Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know. I guess it depends how you play. Okay. Surface. Yay. Alright, where do I want to go? I don't know that I want to do Bethesda Susa yet. Exactly. I was kind of gonna do a couple of small quests. Uh... Ah, yeah. I don't know that there's anything inherently wrong with that, though. Like, it just takes you longer, in theory, to get places. I don't know, it seems like a preference thing more than anything. Like, you know, I wasn't sure if that was the way you're supposed to or not supposed to do something, but I guess I'm just not gonna let that bother me. uh, circuit quad, where is that? Let's go there, I guess. Nope, not checkpoints. This. I mean, there's definitely moments where I do travel, like, zoomed in on the regular long way map. Um, I guess it just depends what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, right now, I'm accomplishing becoming unlost. I mean, it took me a bit to learn, like, strategy with regard to, like, how you move at all. Um, in terms of, like, doing something useful or what you're trying to do, I guess, like, how to move around without immediately dying and losing all your water or something. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. The world. Okay. That's a good comparison. I'm still lost. Oh, good. I'm just being attacked here. Chameleons. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like purposefully a little bit vague. But I mean, again, that's sort of the kind of thing I like is not necessarily having it completely dictated and kind of being able to fill in the gaps, you know, with my own imaginary whatevers. Okay, I'm not lost anymore. That's good. Right. I can fly. I forgot. I got a gyrocopter pack at some point. So that's fun. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was the whole quest? I guess that was the whole quest. Hmm. talking and forgetting what I'm doing. Oh, I guess I don't have to go back. That's okay. Guess we'll just explore. Oh. A friend. Perhaps not. Yeah. I guess that does kind of depend on luck, a little bit. What happens when you start, like where you decide to roam, because you can literally just go anywhere. Maybe that's something they'll address at some point. I don't know, but that is a good point too. But I guess that's kind of just how I tend to do things, is just I just like wandering. Like I remember playing Fallout 3 like when it came out, and just spending like forever just wandering and not really caring about any of the plot stuff immediately. But I don't know. I guess I just like games that let you just kind of wander even if it's not immediately story relevant. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of got elements of both. Like, it's a little bit sandboxy in a way. Oh yeah, Fallout 1 is like, you definitely don't want to wander. Like, I've never finished it because I'm terrible with that kind of stuff, but that's just me. I don't know. You give me a game where I can wander, and I will just do that and forget about the main quest. Like, I don't know how many hours I have, like, in Skyrim at this point. I don't think I've ever finished Skyrim once, and I have, like, I don't know how many stupid copies of this game I've bought at this point. I don't know. I guess I'm like a video game tourist is how I feel sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, there needs to be a middle ground somewhere where you get, a decent amount of story and you're not completely tied to it. What am I being shot at by? I'm like... Okay. Yeah, okay. That is what's shooting at me. Yes, I wasn't trying to rest, game. Okay. But, yeah. I agree with that somewhat. Oh, good. Level 13. And my cat is here. Hello, cat. Here to supervise. Again. Alright, I guess we can keep exploring and see what we find. Oh, wait. Hey. There is... some stuff here. You know what? Let's just take everything. Lots of fresh water. Wayward, as far as I know, has no significant story and is just a sandbox adventure. It's a survival, crafting roguelike where you play as a castaway stranded on a strange archipelago, suffering from moderate amnesia and unable to remember much about how you washed up on shore other than something vague about treasure. Oh, that sounds interesting. I may have to look into that. That sounds fun, actually. As a concept. Yes. Surrounded by friends. Blue jail friends. Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah, like, I really enjoy playing CUD, and I like the idea of streaming it, because people like to pop in and talk about it, and that's fun. But visually, I know it looks like nothing. Like, so I feel like I have to, like, really talk my way through it to keep it interesting. Oh no, I died. I should have seen that coming. Got to talking, and that's what happens. Right. Back here again. Let's see. Okay, well, at least that wasn't a complicated thing I was just doing, so I need to probably add another checkpoint in here somewhere. CDDA streams and it's just impossible to tell what is going on from looking at it. Yeah. I haven't looked into anything, but like, I kind of wish there were alternative tile sets for CUD sometimes, just for like visual interest. But yeah, that definitely adds like complexity when people can start changing things. And yeah, like from what I know about CDDA, it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on to keep track of visually. Okay, right. Historic sites. We want this place where we just were. Thankfully, it's not far. Yeah, there is a lot going on menu-wise. Like, I don't know, like, it took me a bit just, like, playing it to understand, like, where everything is located. It's just, you can start digging and have things just several screens deep before you get what you're looking for, but that makes it complicated if you're not talking about what you're doing. Oh, good. I am on the ground again. I'd rather not be. Oh no. Hmm. Okay. What just happened? A weird artifact deployed. Oh, there's micro turrets. That's fun. And a grave robber, all trying to kill me. Oh, and gels. That's good. What if... What if I just accidentally set everything on fire? A weird artifact. I wish I knew what that was. Something explosive, clearly. And I'm stunned. That's good. And I'm about to die, probably. I saw that coming. Of course, this is after I talk about... Oh, I should go save a checkpoint somewhere before I do this. Hang on. I guess there's no point, because I'm not that far from where I'm trying to go. Right. I was gonna... I don't really need to mark it, because I kind of know where it is, but that's fine. Wayward uses a 90s JRPG pixel art style with a fully visual inventory and crafting system and straightforward status icons and stat bars. There's damage, number pop-ups, and has a lot of zoom levels, so the text scroll is mostly just for crafting output details, though it's a very crafting heavy game, so that's not nothing. Yeah. Yeah, pixel art would be nice, actually. The more I hear, the more interested I am. Okay. Maybe instead of exploring, I should not do that yet. But, yeah, that is definitely more streamlined in terms of information. Let's see. Eat something. Wander more carefully this time, I guess. There's our friend the grave robber. Let's see. I could change probably some of this equipment. That might be smart. Oh. I have no ammo. Yeah. Figures. Well, back to the bow it is, I guess. That's fine. Oh, good. Alright. Once again. Do I learn from my mistakes? No. What would the fun in that be? I'm just gonna ignore that bear. That is not a friendly bear. Let's just get out of here. Okay. This is fine. I've got my points. I'm not dead. I should go checkpoint somewhere and come back. Because clearly I don't learn my lesson. Alright, where am I? Up here. I can just carefully come down here and make a checkpoint. The game's shortcomings are a brutal early game learning curve. New players are incredibly likely to die of thirst, starve, or get killed by a random monster during the first 3 or so days, and that there are currently very, very few NPCs to interact or quests to fulfill with, so the game can get lonely and aimless if you're not good at making your own goals. Honestly, it's got a lot in common with Minecraft in the early years. Yeah, I did play Minecraft, like, very early on. And that makes a lot of sense. With the, not having a lot to interact with. But making your own fun is good. I do like that kind of thing. Alright, set checkpoint. Did I just do that? Yeah, but... Okay. No, I don't want to go down. I want to fly. Ooh, a lair. I'm gonna investigate. I probably shouldn't, but... all the more reason that I want to. The lair of Nugagia Petrorius, legendary giant dragonfly. Ooh. Okay. Suppose we can carefully explore and zap crocodiles. And small creatures. Oh. Okay. I don't like that. Burst of eerie energy is damaging me. I would prefer not to have that happen. So I will use a force bubble and carefully sneak my way out of here, I think. And continue zapping small creatures. For now. Oh good. Level 13. I should Find a place to make a checkpoint. Good thing there's a town, like, right here. Okay, set checkpoint. Eat a food. Okay. Back to exploring, I guess. Now that I'm not gonna completely lose my progress. That was a mistake. That's not where I want to be. Yes, back to this lair. Full of things that want me to die. Oh, fire ants. That's, fun. Force bubble. Can I zap them? Yes, I think. Worker ants. Good. There's probably like 82 billion of these. Or something. I don't know that I've actually run into these before, but... that's fun. Oh, I can see several of them. Let's sneak past. They're just gonna catch up to me. But I need my laser to recharge. Ah! Oh, there's definitely a bunch of them. This is probably not a great idea. They probably don't care too much about, like, a flaming ray, but this other bug... Agglefly. And now I'm on fire, so this is going well. I'm just gonna... run away. I'm being chased by a bunch of things, and I'm on fire, and, this is not an ideal situation. And I'm dying slowly. I should probably stop flying. If I get in the water, will that put the fire out? Oh! I was immolated by a fire ant anyway. Okay. This is what I get for exploring. Ugh. And I'm gonna do it again. Okay. Should I do this again, though? Probably not. You know what? I'll come back. This might be over my head at the moment. That's okay, though. What should I do? What do I have on my list? I do not want to do raising Indrix right now. we could travel to the historical site of Ikawar. That looks probably doable. Yeah, and it's even on the map. Oh, but it's way on the other side of the map. That's dangerous. What else do we have? No. Quests. Oh. Locate the sanctified raw boar meat. Let's see. Do I have that? Is that a settlement, or... Muir, yeah, it's Oh, that's way on the other side of the map, too. I don't know if I want to do that either. I am definitely not ready for that. Well... I don't need that highlighted right now. What else do we have? That might be it. I might have to do a little bit of wandering. Yeah, why not? We'll see if we can find some new questy things to do. So, I'm gonna stop flying, I guess. And we're gonna try not to die. A giant amoeba. And a Naphtali forager. I don't think he wants to be friendly to me. But I do have lasers, so... that does make this easier. I don't think there's anything on this screen of interest. That's okay. That's alright. We will continue. Oh, more friends. Yeah. I know they definitely aren't, but these guys always make me picture Koroks from Zelda. Let's see. I guess we have to move. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Wonderful. Yeah, I'd rather not get into a big fight right now. I'm just gonna keep moving for a minute. Oh. They're everywhere. They blend right in. So sneaky. hobbled. Why am I hobbled? Hobbled and bleeding. That's not an ideal scenario. No, I can't laser them. But I do have Flaming Ray, so there's that. As long as I don't also accidentally end up on fire. These two guys are just chasing me. Oh, there's 3 of them. Flaming Ray, I guess. Hold on. Oh, okay. Swoop is D. I was like, I thought there was a hotkey for that. There is. And I'm gonna use it. To attack these guys that are trying to surround me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna collect whatever I can find. I mean, it's all probably trade-worthy in the end. Maybe. Or I could just equip this because I think it's better than the dagger that I have. So that's nice. I should really at some point consider probably having better weapons than what I have right now, but also I have lasers and I can just zap things and that's pretty fun in itself, so why try and get better items when you can just zap things? Let's see. Little quests. I could probably go back to like a town or something. Oh, but I found something. Ivory Migawan. Well, let's check this place out, because we're here. Oh no, goat folk. Oh, don't throw explosives at me. I really don't want to deal with that. Let's, conserve lasers. And there's always defense. That is a fair point. That is true. Oh. I think this goat folk just explode themselves. That's very helpful. Oh no. That's great. Well, I'm gonna take this and actually equip it, because that seems better than mine. Again. Or at least it's cooler than mine, so. And a strange plant. Meanwhile, now I'm too close to everyone, so that's not fantastic. What's your build like? I've been in and out a bit, and I still haven't picked up on it. Let's see. So here's what I have currently. Oh, I have a bunch of skill points. I should really be using those. Wow. That's great. But yeah, it's not terribly serious. It's just, A, choosing things that are as turtly as possible, like, having a beak and a carapace. And B, lasers. And things that make lasers better. Like, light manipulation and flaming ray, and just generally being as ridiculous as possible. But I should probably do something with all these skill points, huh? Let's look at that. Lots of options. Wayfaring would probably be useful at some point. Or wilderness lore. I could just get these. I have enough points. I would like to get lost less often. That would make my life better. What else? Endurance, I think, is useful. Vampire Cyber Shield Turtle is a valid choice. That is very true. Okay, let's see. Swimming reduces movement speed penalty when swimming. That supports the concept of turtle. Probably. Poison tolerance. Weathered, he take 15% less damage. Heating and cooling effects. That would be useful, actually, considering I'm gonna do Bethesda Susa, and that's very cold. That's a good option. Shield also might be worthwhile. This costs nothing. Well, wait. Oh, well. I'm really big on themed builds in games like these, but Cut always has ended up punishing me for leaning into them. Yeah, it can kind of do that. I definitely prefer playing on, like, roleplay mode just for the fact that it's not a waste of time to build a character because I die a lot. Yeah, that's a cool concept too. Plant girl. I think what was my previous character? He was like a wandering scholar. So I made a point of, like, anytime I would find books, like, I had to collect them. So I would just, like, explore trying to find books, and I ended up having, like, tons and tons of books taken to the 6-day stilt. Yes, that's correct. So that was a bunch of easy points, but yeah, I like doing silly things like that. Tactics, what's in here? Hurdle. Throwing. Charge. Let's see. Persuasion. Yeah, I don't think that's really... I do think weathered is probably the way to go. I'm gonna do that. Yes. Yes, I do want endurance. That's good. Yes. Alright. Yeah, they are kind of specific for mutations, but I guess I interpret it more loosely. I don't know, like my last guy had a like horns and a stinger, and I don't know, I was just having fun making art of him and not really necessarily strictly following what the description came up with or what the attributes were described as. Oh no. My backpack is leaking oil. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they did add some stuff. Like, you can definitely pick the kind of horns. I think because I have a beak, I think you could pick, like, the type of beak. It's a little bit more specific, which is kind of cool. I haven't really done much playing around with it beyond, like, this character that I have now. But that is definitely an option now. Let's see. Yeah, that does kind of break the illusion when it is more specific in that way. But yeah, the idea of having to water yourself is actually really funny. It would be nice if it was a little bit more loose with some of it. Horned chameleon is attacking me. Oh, okay. Then they nerfed your ability to take multiple negative mutations, which really hampers themed builds. I only recently found a way to re-enable that. Ah, yeah. I haven't really played with that much either, but I do remember hearing about that. Um, okay. Where am I? Down here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Zap the chameleon. Oh, bookshelves. That's like... Assuming there's anything on them. There is. That's free points. I will take that. Okay. Keep exploring carefully. A wet ice frog. A room full of campfires. Oh, okay. The frog is here now. That's good. Lasers. Probably. Yep. Let's keep moving. More frogs. Just kind of hoping for more books. That's like... makes things simpler for sure. Just a bunch of free XP, but... that's too bad. Oh. A yonder brush. Well, I'm over there now, so... okay. That's fine. Okay, more recently I tried a sort of succubus build doing horns and beguile and siphon vim, but I also added in some mutations from a mod to flesh out the demon theme. And it turned out the way I min-maxed my build for long-term growth made those mutations totally non-functional. Since they had hidden rules that meant even with a level floor of 1 for low stats, they still checked your stats when triggering in a way that made them non-functional if you didn't have a stat bonus of 1 or more. Ah. Yeah, also, that is funny with. I don't know, it just turned out that way. I'm a strange turtle. That's okay though. Yeah, it is kind of strange how things work mechanically sometimes, but it's still fun. I don't know. This goat is just like stuck in this corner. Like, you can come out of there, guy, but, I guess I can't make you. Hmm, interesting. I'm not currently using any mods. I had previously installed, like, I had one, like, visual thing installed that would change the background color kind of dependent on the time of day, which made it a little bit simpler to keep track of. Um, I just haven't, like, really reinstalled anything since the last update that, well, not the last update, but the one that kind of like broke game saves. Um, Probably at some point I'll look back into it, but it was mostly that kind of thing. I think I had, um, I don't know. That's the only one I really remember using. Like, it would be fun to look into though. Possibly try a different kind of build just to do something else for a while. I don't know. I know there was one that came up that made me laugh that was like, it would make it so you could like pet everything because everything's like a creature, which was just funny. And there was one that also made me laugh. Like, if you start at a town that isn't Joppa, Joppa's destroyed when you actually go there again, but it just preserves Joppa, so it's not destroyed when you come back if you start in another town. So that's noted for a future one. Mm, extended mutations. Yeah, that sounds like it would be popular. I haven't tried it, but that definitely sounds like something I would have at some point attempted. I think I feel like I just want to kind of wait until it's more finished or closer to release or something. Because I feel like if I start installing stuff, it's just gonna break at some point and I'm gonna get annoyed with it. Oh no, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, I'd rather not die. Hmm. Oh no, everyone's gonna follow me from off screen. Let's... I can't fly? Am I out of fuel or something? What's going on here? Oh no, what happened? Did I lose? Oh no, I took off. Oh, it's broken. Oh no, I can't fly anymore. Not my gyrocopter backpack. Can I fix it? Oh, I've got stuff. Let's examine. Sower seed. That's nice. I'll keep that. Strange tubes. A metal folding chair. I should just use that as a weapon and become like wrestling turtle. That would be funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not usually much of a mod person either. Um, I don't know. I also play on a Mac, which kind of complicates things. Like sometimes there's just not mods available, or it's kind of a pain to install them. Sometimes it's not, but I just don't usually find it worth my time most of the time. But um, yeah, yeah, this is like okay, yeah, the one exception that I can come up with is like Minecraft. At some point, I had like a bazillion mods installed just because it wasn't terribly complicated or game breaking to do it. But it's fun when you can kind of transform, like fit the game like completely to what you're trying to do. Which I could see how you could definitely do that with CUD. But it's just the phase that it's in. I feel like the moment that I install something, it's gonna completely demolish my save. That's just the kind of luck that I have. A slime bog. How is that different from like 90% of the rest of the world? I guess if I want slime, I know where to find it. Yeah, I suppose it can backfire on you. Uh, okay, where do I want to go? Well, I can't fly anymore, so that's frustrating. Right, I was gonna look at this, and then I got distracted. Can I repair this? Hmm. Oh, okay. Articulated blades, blah blah blah, broken. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe I just don't have a high enough skill or something. Oh yeah, I'm like yeah, it's fun when you get into that stuff though. I could totally see doing that. I do wish there were more like built-in sprite options beyond kind of manipulating the handful of little pre-built things. It makes me consider like if I had the budget for it, I would probably chip into their Patreon because you get like pets and stuff. I don't currently have the money to do that, but it sounds like fun. Oh, I'm being chased by everything. A quillipede. How about not? No. Okay. Oh. I don't have anything right now. Okay, good. It's just ashes. Okay. am probably gonna play about 30 more minutes of it and then end for tonight. I have sort of a cutoff time. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Let's see. I'm so disappointed I broke my gyrocopter. Where do I want to go? I feel like I should probably attempt to level up so I can actually do something useful, but again, I'm just having fun doing nothing. Kind of. Oh, I've discovered the Irvar Nook. Just, you know, normal things. I really love the randomly generated names in this. They always make me laugh. Oh, a seed sprout worm. Huh. Okay. I remember in my last playthrough I needed to find one of those and I never knew where I could find one. And then I never ended up seeing one. And here it is. So, past me would be happy. And now I don't need them. Like, I needed seed sprout worm for, like, a cure for something. A wet, bizarre contraption. Can I examine it? A puzzling artifact. Yeah. Ah, wooden water wheel. I mean, I know what it is, but... just like picturing my turtle standing there just puzzling out all this mechanical stuff, like, ah, I see. And yet, she knows what a table is, but can't figure out a folded metal chair without, like, thinking about it. Life is complicated when the world is full of weird things, I guess. Yeah, it's probably folded up when she finds it. Yeah, this is true. But I guess that makes sense. Oh. Do I have to be bleeding? No. Bandage that. And, there's a hole in the ground. Do I want to jump down it? I mean, probably not. I don't know how deep that is. Well, that was not as exciting as I hoped for. Rust wells, canyons. Could visit Joppa. It's probably a good idea just to have a checkpoint. I guess, if I have to. Although it takes away from the suspense. But I could go trade. Oh yeah, I was gonna... oh no. No, I'm all confused because I forgot what I was doing like last session, I could probably do some of the other quests here. Because I've kind of ignored them. But that might be, worth doing. Oh, I can get rid of these folding chairs I'm just carrying around. I didn't know I had 2 of them. That's fine. Take my junk. Garage sale. Just everything must go. Let's talk to people. This guy. I'm in search of work. Yeah, I never did this quest, somehow. Like, I skipped it immediately. So, I have to go to Red Rock, which is probably going to be really easy now. That's fine. Let's see. Although maybe it's different. I don't know if it changed since I did this quest. I know the rest wells changed, and that was kind of a pleasant surprise, so... Oh, 50 whole XP! Wonderful. Okay, so somewhere... there should be stairs or something. There we go. Stop that. Stop your walking. We have adventure to do. Although I should eat something. Always hungry. Oh! That's a good meal. It made me 1 intelligence smarter for the rest of the day. That must have been really tasty. Amazing. Okay. Can't cook with hostiles nearby. I wasn't... oh. Just gonna laser everything that moves. A dash of trash, you know. I'm sure it's probably good for you somehow. There's, protein or something in it. Probably. Just don't ask what kind. Or where from. Oh, it's a dog. Hello, dog. Just gonna pet the dog. It's an important thing to do. Barked at me. Alright, let's go down. All kinds of stuff. Trash. Stuff I can trade. That's nice. Arrows everywhere. Oh, a cannibal. I'm just hanging out down here. Oh. Just like something is running in terror. Oh. I found the critters. Excellent. Okay, so I have to get the corpse. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to do. I could keep exploring. Maybe there's something fun. Probably not. There's bandages. That's nice. Oh, and more things that want to hurt me. But again, that's why we have lasers. Seed-spitting vine. From where? The southwest? So down here somewhere. Oh. Occultist. Well, not anymore. Uh-oh. It got dark. Alright, well thanks for stopping in. It was nice talking to you. Yeah, you too. Hope to see you next time. Gonna zap some plants. I have to pause for just a moment. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Whoa, get out of here, mouse cursor. Messing everything up. Well, this place is less exciting than I was hoping for. Let's go back to the surface, I guess. Oh. No. Not until we fight this spider. Which we have now done, so that's good. Oh. And a plant. I'm not worried about the plant. Ah! Go. Go up. Gosh darn it, game. Don't you know I'm level 13 now? Plants don't scare me. They probably should. There's probably some kind of terrible plant that I haven't encountered yet that is a good reason to be afraid of plants. No, I don't want to go down. I want to go up. Up again. Come on, go up. You can do it. Oh, there's something. Oh, it's a snapjaw. Not anymore. Oh, I already got that chest. I should have known that. Let's just keep moving. I want to go up again, which is all the way over here. And up one more. And then, yeah, I should be back at the surface. Up. And we can just walk back to Joppa. Which is good. We can finish off this quest, and then that's probably a good place to stop for tonight. Alright, am I supposed to talk to Mehmet here? Yes. I found bits of gnawed water vine, and I slew a white spiderling. I have its corpse. What a hideous thing. I dread the horrors its presence portends. Bring the corpse to Elder Irodad's hut for the Elder to examine. Sure thing. I return from Red Rock with the corpse of a pale spiderling. This is a Gershling. What's a Gershling? An infernal creature of plague, but not for a millennium as... Why now? You see, Wayfarer, 1,000 years ago, in the last days of the Sultanate, a series of 7 plagues called the Gyre spread through and out of Khud. They were a long stewing punishment for some trespass committed in the soft sludge of Primordium, before even the Sultans reigned. Whoa. A scourge of Gershlings was one of these plagues, but Reshef lifted the curse. He cast off his crown and unmade the Sultanate. It makes no sense that the Gershlings would return to eat our crops, unless... What a dark tiding this is. There was a rabid, black-robed figure with the Gershling. That was a glow-white, no doubt. Those maniacal fools worship the Gersh Nephilim as gods. Gersh Nephilim? The 7th plague. Demons born on the Moonstare, quickened to life for the purpose of eating our young. Reshef cast them back before, but if they've returned... Nyla, your discovery is invaluable to us. We are but poor farmers, and sharpen our vine reapers is all we can do. But there may be others outside of Joppa who can do more. Take these prickly boons as thanks. I will not soon forget your service to us, Nyla. Please leave me now to muse on this. Live and drink, Elder. Oh good, I got some stuff. Some injectors and a weird artifact. And a bunch of XP. Alright, let's see what the weird artifact is. Fix-It spray foam. Now wait a minute. Is that something I can use? Do not use on human hearts. What does it do, though? What can I apply it to? Oh, can I fix my gyrocopter? It's covered in sticky goop. That was probably a mistake. Oh wait. Did I fix it? I fixed it. That's exciting. I think that deserves a confetti. And with that, I think I am going to make a checkpoint and call it a night. So, okay, let me switch back to my other screen. Alright. Well, thank you everybody for joining in tonight. Hopefully I'm a little bit closer to affiliate, because there were definitely a bunch of people in at some point, which is pretty exciting. So I really appreciate you stopping in if you're here. If you were here, if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for watching. Um, if you want to check out the other stuff that I make, here are my links. I make comics and other stuff, and you can find it all over the internet. My comic is currently eligible for an award, and if I can paste this in, I assume I can. Uh, you can find all the information about helping me out by voting for it at this link, but that would be super exciting if you did, because it would help me get exposed to more readers, and, you know, that's always a good thing, and it's hard to do. So, if you could do that, if you're watching, I would super duper appreciate it. The other thing is we have a Discord, and we are probably having our first movie night next week on Friday, I believe. Unless the schedule changes for some reason, but you should drop in. It would be fun. It's a nice little quiet Discord for now, and everyone's very friendly, and we definitely could always have more people. Other than that, I hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend, and thank you again for stopping in. So, yeah, schedule for next week will be up sometime soon, and hopefully I'll be back on Monday, because this was kind of an off week, but yeah, thanks again, and have a good night.